there are 19 ways President Trump can deny Vice President Biden the presidency and potentially destroy democracy, or some may say save democracy. So let's go through the process and count the ways, but we can do it in just one way. It's called delay. The approach appears to be delay, delay, delay. Delay the states that are closely contested from certifying their elections. That will then kick in a real serious challenge to whether or not the states that have not certified their elections, as to whether or not they can send a delegate to the Electoral College. The deadline to have the election certified is December 8th. That's 19 calendar days away. So if the Trump team is successful in launching challenges or attacks to the integrity of the election, or they're successful in calling into question the results of some of the counting, you're going to have a situation where you may create a Supreme Court challenge as to whether or not those states can certify their elections by the December 8th deadline, and or whether or not those states have the authority or standing to have a delegate represent the state in the Electoral College. Now, who knows what's going to happen? Because if the Electoral College has not reached 270 votes, there are a variety of approaches to resolve that deadlock, as I mentioned in a previous video, but we haven't seen that type of division or that type of scenario play out since 1800. So we do know that there's a process for the United States Senate to select the vice president. There's a process for the House of Representatives to select the president. But those processes have to not only play out, but those elections related to some of the Senate seats and the House seats are yet to be resolved. So we have a very, very, very tenuous moment in our nation's history where there's a possibility that of an election could be denied again, the fruits of their labor to convince more people to come out and vote for them and their policies, and that person be denied because of legal technicalities and maneuvering from a constitutional standpoint. What can we do about this? There's very little other than contact the people you know that live in the swing states, people that live in Georgia, that live in Arizona, that live in Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, and urge them to verify that their vote was counted and verified, not just cast. Make sure that they get certification that their vote and their ballot was in fact received and included in the results. Because what could potentially happen is their votes can be reversed on some form of technicality because of election law or some policies that were set by certain groups. Or you have a situation where the Supreme Court may look back and say they didn't take the extra step, which is, could be a big surprise. But my hope and prayer is that the Supreme Court does everything in its power to protect democracy and to make a level playing field, not play into the political trappings that are being set right now. We've seen them set over time, be it with the sabotage of the United States Postal Service, but you see the people responded by turning out to vote. So all we could do right now is watch this play out, monitor the 8 active lawsuits that are going on right now that are contesting some of the results of the elections in these battleground states, and follow up with all the people that you know in these places to make sure that their vote was verified, validated, and counted. We'll get into the challenges that the Trump administration, or the Trump team, are lodging against some of the various factors in the close elections, be it whether or not someone has residency, whether or not they were actually there to vote. We'll get into the fraud aspects at another point, but I do know that there are lots of questions that need to be answered, and there are 19 days left to verify and certify the state elections before the December 8th deadline, so that each state that concluded its voting, can send a representative to the Electoral College. And if that's not done, then guess what? We're in for a whole new set of dynamics that's going to question who we are as a people, as a country, and potentially destroy our democracy. So we have to do everything in our power to protect it by validating and verifying the votes, and continue to stand up for what is right, and urge the court to continue to be the high court and protect democracy. Prayers always work too, so pray as well. But right now, monitor, stay vigilant, and add that very special prayer at the beginning and the end.